Hey y'all, welcome back to the DG Outdoors channel. Today's video, guys, I'm going to start the archery info series, okay guys, where it could be anything archery related. Alright, today's video is actually going to be terminology of the compound bow, and I have two different types here to show you guys. We're going to go over basic terminology, very basic videos, what each part of the compound bow is called. Okay, if you guys didn't know, back in February, okay, I got my certificate from bowtuneschool.com, and so I want to start using the information I learned on there in videos. So this is my Aux Pro, okay, 2019 model. Okay, and the reason I want to show this one off is it's got some cool features that my Mathews FX doesn't have. So when we're gonna start is, okay, of course guys, this is called the string, okay, the string, and these right here that Y off are called your yoke cables, okay? And these red things right here are string silencers, so they dampen the vibration on the string, so when you shoot it and go twang, you know, things like that. Okay, you have your split limbs right here, okay? This is where all the powerhouse is in the bow, okay? Top and bottom. They make a solid limb version, which again is why I have the Mathews FX out, and we'll talk about those here in a different how they differ. Okay. You have your limb dampeners. Again, this is going to stop any vibration when you shoot to silence down the bow and things like that. Okay. You have the arrow quiver. Okay, this is going to hold your extra arrows whenever you're shooting. Okay. Cable guard. This is going to pull the extra cables off away from when you're shooting. Okay. You're going to have your sight. There's all different kinds of sights, and in future videos I'll get into. This is just the Aux Pro sight that came with it. It's a fixed pin, 3-pin sight. Okay, you have a level right here, so when you're holding the bow, it's going to show you if you're torquing your bow left or right. So if that bubble is in the center, then your bow's perfectly like this. They also have axis adjustments. Okay, that means is your sight up and down level, because you can shoot downhill, okay, and with the axis adjustment, and I'll talk about those in future videos and how to set all that up and things like that if you guys want to know. What that does is if you're shooting downhill, you can range find, or you can say, oh, that animal's 30 yards away, but at that steep angle, you're only shooting 20 yards. Okay, it's to compensate for steep angles like hunting a mountainous terrain and everything. This is in no particular order. Okay, you have your peep sight. Okay, this is an older style peep sight that uses tubes. Okay, I have a different kind on the other bow, so we'll talk about those. So when you draw this back, this tube keeps that thing spun like this so you can see through it. And it's just a way to aim to make it easier to line up your pins. Now on the pin sights, okay, your top pin is always your closest. Okay, so that could be like 15, 20, 25 yards. Okay, so that's how you look at a pin sight. You have your stabilizer. Okay, that's going to put weight on the front of the bow to help it stabilize better when you shoot. Now, this is actually a GoPro camera rig I have on here for when I film hunts or make shooting videos and things like that. Then you have my own homemade wrist sling. Now, what the wrist sling does is it just makes it when I hold my bow, I don't have to torque it like this real tight. I can just leave it open in my hand, and the bow's not going to fall out of my hand. Okay. Then you have some more vibration dampeners right here, and I believe these just take the shock out of the riser itself to help with what they call hand shock. Okay, a lot of the older bows, you'd shoot them, you just feel a shock in your hand, kind of like you ever limp wrist the baseball bat whenever you hit baseballs, makes your hand numb. It's kind of like that. Kind of like that, not the same thing. But then you've got your cams. This has 2 cams on it, and that's what guides the string whenever you pull it back, like that, alright? Now, the one thing I really like about the Aux Pro, normally to change draw length and things like that, you would need a bow press to press the limbs together to be able to work on the bow, because these are under tension, okay? But with these, you don't need that. You guys see these things right here? Okay, they've got a little screw, and you unscrew this, and this thing swings back and forth. And there's a chart that comes with your bow that show you, but you also got to undo the second screw right here. Okay, but this swivels back and forth, and you can actually adjust your draw length at home, which is awesome. So the screws right here on the front, my bow's upside down, hang on. The screws right here on the front, you turn these in and out, and these actually adjust your draw weight. So this is set at 45 pounds, and I can higher it or lower it. Now I believe these are 55-pound limbs. Now what that means is you can only bring this bow up to 55 pounds before you're going to break something or seriously hurt yourself. Always take your bow to an archery shop or read the owner's manual to figure out what you're doing when you're working on these. I can't stress it enough. I've done this enough over the years that I kind of know what I'm doing. Last but not least, arrow rest. Okay, this is like an ambush style plastic 3-brush arrow rest called full capture. So the arrow slips in there and it's not going to move in and out. They also make a whisker biscuit, which I have on this other bow that I want to show you guys. They make flipper rests that flip up and down. They make QADs, which come up and lock and hold your arrows, and then a drop away so it drops. All kinds of different stuff, guys. Stuff that I'm not going to get into on this video. But that is basically a look at my Aux Pro compound bow. This is my newest bow that I have. The next one I have is my Matthews FX. This is a 2000 model. I got this on eBay. Now this is a solid limb bow, okay? See how there's no split all the way down? Do you guys see the differences there between a solid and a split limb? They made more, up through the mid 90s, they made more solid limb than they did split limb, and then in the early thousands they started doing more split limb bows. Is one better than the other? I don't think so. So starting out, guys, we've got the riser just like this one. Okay. And one thing I didn't talk about on the other bow is a D-loop. This is where your release attaches to, which your release is just a shooting aid. And I will say that for the bows these days, if your bow is set up to shoot with a release, shoot it with a release. Okay. Back in the 90s, bows were 41 inches axle to axle. When I say axle to axle, I mean from this point to this point. The bows were 41, 45 inches long. So you didn't have as much string pinch when you draw it back. So you could get away with shooting with fingers. If you try to do that nowadays with a lot of bows, you're going to derail your bow, which means the string's going to come off. And you could basically break, ruin your bow, or injure yourself. So if you guys get your bow set up to shoot a release, shoot a release. So again, that's how you adjust your draw poundage. Here's your stabilizer. This is a full containment whisker rest, okay? Arrow rest. So your arrow just slides in there and it'll hold your arrow. This does not have sights on it. Remember last video I shot this, my sight broke. So I'm putting a new 5-pin bone collector sight on there. Here's the peep sight. Okay, it's a little bit different than the one with the tube. This is a tubeless peep sight. So when you draw it back, you know you don't have a tube to worry about breaking. Okay, you got your yoke cables up here. This is a solo cam bow. Okay, so it only has one cam. That was huge in the late 90s, early thousands. So it's got a roller up top. Okay, so when you draw this thing back, okay, it just rolls for you. Okay, it just rolls. Alright. The one cool thing about this bow is it has a fiberglass cable guard on it. I don't know if they use that to make it lighter or not, but the way you adjust these is you'd have to put it in a bow press. Okay, and I believe there's 1, 2, and 3 right here, and you'd slide that to where you need it. I believe 1 would be the longest, 3 would be the shortest right here, and these 3 little dimples, if you guys can tell. Again, you'd have to put this in a bow press and then do it. These videos are just going to show you guys what I know about archery. I eventually want to start my own archery shop, but I live in an apartment right now, so I don't have the room. I have a lot of the tools to do my own stuff or work on my friends' bows and stuff for free and things like that right now. But that's just how it's going right now. So tomorrow's video, unless I do it later, will be on the terminology of a recurve bow. I have a Sammy Sage recurve bow, so y'all stay tuned for that. Hope y'all learned something. One thing I didn't talk about yet here, okay, is an arm guard. And a lot of people don't use arm guards. I use arm guards. I always have. So what arm guards do is it protects your inner arm that you shoot with from being hit by the string. Because I've seen people get bruises, cuts, welts, whatever. And I always have a bunch of these extra laying around to protect my arm whenever I hunt, and I won't use one. I won't shoot a bow without it. So, hope this taught you guys something about terminologies of a compound bow. I'm ADHD, so sometimes my brain's not really where it needs to be, y'all. I don't know. Yeah, remember, like, comment, subscribe. Jesus loves you. And I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.